So I just got back from Paris after a crazy month-long rendezvous across Asia, the US, and Europe. It's been exhausting, to say the least, but with spring finally in the air, I can feel a new wave of energy wash over me. Kind of like the feeling of unboxing a device for the very first time. This is the MacBook Neo, and on the outside, it looks just like any other Mac laptop. But this one excites me a whole lot because of the doors that it opened. Now, even more people can buy a Mac. A lot of you have been asking me, is it powerful enough? Is it worth it? So I moved into it for a week, installed all my favorite apps, and put it through the ringer. Let's get into it. Hi, I'm MICHAELJOSH, your gadget matchmaker, and over the last decade, I've made it my mission to show people around the world that tech can be easy, fun, and exciting. On this channel, you get special access to the gadgets I review, the places I go, the things that bring me joy, and all the cool people I get to meet along the way. So if you're in the market for a new Mac, keep watching, subscribe, and I'll help you find the right one that actually matches your life. This is our MacBook Neo review. Let's start with what this actually is. The MacBook Neo is Apple's most affordable MacBook ever at just $1 under $600 US. With an education discount, $499. That's half the price of the cheapest MacBook Air. And I know that number sounds like there's a catch, so let me walk you through what you're actually getting. You get a full aluminum enclosure, the same material, the same build quality, the same feel in your hands as any other Mac laptop. Not plastic, not like anything else at this price. And this was the first thing that really stood out to me during my hands-on in London. It feels just like my MacBook Air. And so immediately, my brain goes, this is a premium laptop. It weighs 2.7 pounds and is about half an inch thin. Portable enough to go everywhere. A backpack, a small bag even. I carried it around town in my Goyard Messenger, which previously could only fit an iPad. It's slightly smaller than the 13-inch MacBook Air, which, fun fact, is actually closer to 14 inches. Both weigh 2.7 pounds, but side by side, the Air is thinner and slightly wider. The Neo, a little more compact overall. You get a 13-inch liquid retina display, 500 nits of brightness, and support for 1 billion colors. That's a genuinely beautiful screen, sharper and brighter than most Windows laptops at this price point. And it comes in 4 colors: silver, indigo, citrus, and this one, blush. Indigo is a dark bluish purple, citrus is a neon yellow green, and blush is a faint pink silver. Now, for the first time ever on a Mac laptop, the keyboard is color matched to the enclosure. It's such a thoughtful addition. A small detail, but changes how the whole thing feels. It doesn't just look like a laptop, it looks like something you'd actually want to carry around, which at $599 is not something you'd normally say. So I started really using the MacBook Neo on the flight home from Paris. Installed everything I use every day: email, Telegram, Claude, Safari, Apple Music, the usual stack. And here's the thing, nothing broke, no hiccups, no "sorry, this app isn't optimized" moments. It just ran, all of it. I even jumped on a video call mid-flight thanks to Starlink on Air France, which still feels like witchcraft to me. At this point, I didn't feel like I was losing anything. And then I woke up this morning, lights off, tried to type in bed, no backlit keyboard. Now look, I knew this going in. It was one of the cuts Apple had to make to get to that $599 price point. But for those of you who are trying to sneak in work when you're supposed to be resting, you'll definitely notice. If you're a late-night typer, working in the dark, a student sharing a dorm room, that's the one thing I'd want you to know before you buy. It's not a deal breaker, but it's real. So after all the easy stuff checked off the box, I wanted to push it even harder. Because the #1 question I've been getting about this laptop is the A18 Pro actually powerful enough? Now, the A18 Pro is the same chip inside the iPhone 16 Pro, which at first, as a smartphone chip, sounds like a limitation until you actually use it. Canva flies. I easily created a YouTube thumbnail on it. Pixelmator Pro, I used AI to cut me out of a photo to make a poster, and right now, as I'm recording this, I have 15 browser tabs open. 15, and it hasn't flinched. Oh, and about that 8 gigabytes of RAM. Yes, I know, everyone's bringing it up, but here's the thing about Apple's unified memory architecture. 8 gigabytes on a Mac works very differently from 8 gigabytes on a Windows machine. It's intelligently shared between the CPU, the GPU, and the neural engine. In real-world use, across everything I just described, I never hit a wall. And then I opened up Final Cut Pro. A quick cut-to-cut edit was easy, and exporting a 4-minute 4K timeline took 6 minutes. Is that slow? Well, compared to a MacBook Air, then sure, yes. I remember when I was just starting out as a creator. Back then, if you wanted to edit in Final Cut Pro, you needed a MacBook Pro. That was the price of admission, thousands of dollars just to get in the door. Today, being able to export a 4K project on a $600 machine, that's progress. Did I mention it was completely silent the entire time? No fan, no heat, just working. And just for fun, I downloaded the just-released Oceanhorn 3 on Apple Arcade. And yes, it supports games too. So here's the answer to a question everybody has been asking. Is it powerful enough? For most people, my answer is absolutely yes. If you're a professional video editor running heavy creative workflows every single day, this isn't your laptop. That's what the MacBook Pro is for. But you know who this is for? There's a waitress at my favorite cafe in Greenpoint, and we got to talking about laptops one day. She just wants to surf the web, watch Netflix, reply to emails from time to time, maybe make a Canva graphic for her side project. She came up to me and said, "Is that the MacBook Neo? I really regret having to plop down $1,000 for a MacBook Air 2 years ago." So, before I tell you that the MacBook Neo is the best thing at $599, I figured it's only fair to see what else we can get with that price point. So, we're here at Best Buy. We walked the entire laptop section wanting to see what else your $599 could get you in 2026. Because here's the context many don't get. We're actually in the middle of a global RAM shortage. AI data centers are consuming memory faster than manufacturers can make them. So DRAM prices rose 172% in 2025 alone. Dell, HP, Lenovo, they've all flagged price increases of up to 20% this year. And on top of that, there are Chromebooks. For years, if you wanted a laptop under $600, that was basically the answer. Cheap, lightweight, and does the basics. But with Chrome OS now merging with Android, the future is honestly a question mark. But let's be fair, let's actually look. While there was a lot of choice, things became clear pretty quickly. The best laptops started at $899, including this Microsoft Surface laptop, which is the closest to the MacBook Neo in terms of build quality. The Snapdragon-powered Asus ZenBook A14, one of my favorite mid-range picks with its Ceraluminum finish, was $999. There were some laptops that looked on budget, but upon closer inquiry were $200 more if you didn't want to pay that $50 Best Buy membership. This one was on budget, but with old hardware, and a quick Google search revealed it was a 2022 model. And that's the bigger picture this visit gave me. Sure, on paper, it's easy to find a Windows laptop with 16 gigabytes of RAM and a 4K display. These specs look great on sticker, but you're often getting older hardware, years-old chips. Even a quick scroll on Amazon and then a Google search of those hardware numbers revealed the same thing. So, at the end of the day, the only thing close to what we were looking for was this. A plasticky $599 Chromebook from Asus. Turns out, $599 for a brand new MacBook Neo with an aluminum build and Apple Silicon hits different when you spent an hour at Best Buy. Okay, now on to another popular question. You've got the $599 MacBook Neo, or you could get the new MacBook Air with M5 for $1099. Is the Air worth the extra 500 bucks. That's an easy answer. The Air is definitely the better machine, full stop. But the question is, better for who? First thing you notice, they look almost identical. Same aluminum finish, same form factor, same clean, minimal design. Same weight, both fanless, completely silent, both running macOS Tahoe with Apple Intelligence. Same liquid retina display, same 500 nits of brightness. The Air is slightly larger, the Neo is actually more compact. But in terms of feel, it's the same premium experience. Except for two things you'll feel immediately. The backlit keyboard, which is standard on the Air, missing on the Neo, and the trackpad. The Air uses haptic force touch, while the trackpad on the Neo is mechanical. Small things, but you notice them. Now, let's talk about what's under the hood, because this is where the gap is more real. The M5 in the Air is significantly faster than the A18 Pro in the Neo. For heavy creative work, long-form video, large Lightroom catalogs, 3D rendering, you will feel it. The Air starts at 16 gigabytes of RAM and 512 gigabytes of storage, double both right out of the box. The camera jumps from 1080p to 12 megapixels with center stage, which tracks you as you move. If you're on video calls all day, that's a meaningful upgrade. There's MagSafe charging, only available on the Air, so both Thunderbolt 4 ports stay free. You can drive 2 external displays. The Neo supports 1, and one of its USB-C ports is slower than the other. Oh, and Wi-Fi 7 versus Wi-Fi 6E. 18 hours of battery versus 16, and Touch ID is standard on the Air. On the Neo, it's an extra 100 bucks. TLDR, the MacBook Air gives you a lot for that extra 500 bucks. So, is the MacBook Neo your gadget match? Here's how I actually think about it. If your laptop is a professional tool, if it runs your business, if you're editing client work every single day, if you're pushing large files through creative software constantly, get the Air. The headroom is real and you'll use it. But if you're a student, if you're a first-time Mac buyer, or if you feel like you've been priced out of this ecosystem all your life, someone who just needs a laptop for studying, surfing, documents, Netflix, but one that looks great and doesn't slow them down, the MacBook Neo is your Mac, and it deserves the GadgetMatch seal of approval. I'm really excited about what the arrival of the MacBook Neo means. Apple has always been about offering choice and offering up their experience to as many people as possible, and now that they are entering the education space, the possibilities are going to be limitless. And that was our MacBook Neo review. What do you think about this laptop, and will you be picking one up? Let me know in the comments section down below. If you haven't already, subscribe to this YouTube channel and hit that bell icon so that you get notified as soon as we post new videos. Follow me on social media for all the behind-the-scenes fun, travel, and fashion. And for news and updates, make GadgetMatch.com your daily habit. Until the next video, I'm MICHAELJOSH. Thanks for dropping by.